as always. And with that said, are you guys ready for your headliner? That was absolutely awesome, you guys. She's hilarious. We all know her from her appearances on Conan, writing for Conan, and of course her hilarious podcast, Jackie and Laurie Show. Give it up for Laurie Kilmartin.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh. Keep it going for those two. Yeah. Wow. What a very nice greeting, and it makes me feel loved until I look at the two empty seats in the front row, and that really brings me back down to normal. So this is cool. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. I'm recording an album this week, so I'm taping every single show, and the best show is going to be the album. So the ball, it's your race to lose Thursday night. Don't let those amateurs on Saturday steal your thunder, because you guys party on the weeknight, and that's special. And before I even start, I do think it's amazing that you came out tonight, because I know housing is so expensive in San Francisco and New York and LA and all that, and when you live in a house that's so expensive, you don't want to leave it because you're paying like $200 an hour to live there, and it seems like a waste of money. So anyway, thanks for coming down to the show tonight. I was in my car recently, and a guy jumped into the back seat of my car, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Mike." And Mike thought I was his Uber driver. But for a terrifying second, I thought that Mike was my murderer. I was like, wow, what a courteous killer. Thank you for introducing yourself to me before the slaughter begins. I was so relieved to not be murdered, I ended up taking Mike to the airport. I have to pick up his dry cleaning on Tuesday, so I think I'm Mike's wife at this point. All right, I'm nobody's wife. You'll see why in the next hour or so. I am a single mother. Wow, thank you. Thank you. I recently tried mushrooms for the first time. Not because I wanted to get high. I'm actually hoping to lose custody of my son. I don't want to do this anymore, guys. I'm pro-choice, and it turns out I made the wrong choice. That happens, ladies. Be careful. My son is growing up so fast, I can hardly believe it. I remember when he was so tiny, he fit on the front steps of a Catholic church. Just put him down, backed away. The priest ran after me. He's like, "I like him young, but not that young." Oh, boo that priest, yes. I agree with you. How dare he make a joke about such a serious topic? My son's been just stressful as his entire life. When he was like 9, we had multiple discussions on masturbation etiquette at age 9. I was like, please do not knock on mom's door when she's masturbating. That's my time. Get your own goddamn apple juice. I'm working on my own juice box. Yeah, right up front, guys. We're going there. No, here's the thing. I think the worst thing about parenting is spending time with your children. It's incredibly draining. I remember this one time I took my son rock climbing, and my idea was he was going to learn to rock climb up like a real cliff, and I was going to sit in the car and text. That was going to be our mother-son activity for a Sunday afternoon, right? So he refuses to rock climb unless I do it first. Okay, so there I am, 30 feet up the side of this mountain. I'm all hooked up, and I slipped, and I was dangling, and I thought for a second that I was going to die, and my only response inside was, good. I'm sick of this shit. I tried to hit my head on the side with a rock, come get me, right? And then I look at my son. My son was freaking out. I was like, wait, what about him? But I thought, you know what? If I died now, this would be great for my son. Because he would grow up sad and fucked up. And you know who likes sad, fucked up men? All women. I'm like, if I die now, my son will spend the rest of his life knee-deep in sympathetic pussy. And trust me, that's what every mom really wants for her son. That's what the good moms want. Are there other single parents here tonight? Oh, right on, ma'am. And how many kids do you have?
3.
You have 3. Oh, you sound pissed about it. I recognize that tone of voice. And how old are they?
9.
What? Wait. Your answer stopped abruptly. You have triplets.
Yes.
Oh my God. Wow, you've really bummed out this crowd. Never seen a group get so depressed so quickly. Well, that's terrible news. But I'm glad you're out. And do you date very much?
No.
No, okay. I don't date much. When I do date, I try to have sex on the first date. That's not even a joke. I just like to get the word out. I have time for a couple dates tonight. See me after the show. It's not because I'm promiscuous, though. It's because I'm efficient and cheap. My babysitter costs $16.50 an hour. I can't afford to go on dates that don't end in penetration. Guys, it's fiscally irresponsible. I'm trying to send a child to college. One time I was on a 5-hour date. At the end, the guy tried to kiss me goodnight. I'm like, oh, no, you don't. You either take off your pants and join me in my garage, or you give me $82.50 in cash. He did both, which I really appreciated. That was sweet. Thank you. What a gentleman. He rounded up. I'm on OkCupid, and I'm 54, and this guy messaged me. He goes, 54, wow, you look 50. Okay. Hold on, let me take a second and accept this amazing compliment. That I look 4 years younger. Thank you. You look like you'll never be naked in my garage. He was, but that's not the point of that joke, guys. Come on now. Stuck up for myself. Men sometimes suck at giving compliments to women, you know? Like the classic is, you look good for your age. I just need to let you guys know, you don't need to add a prepositional phrase to a perfectly good compliment. I'd rather hear, you don't look as shitty as you should. Thank you. One time after a show, a guy came up to me, he goes, wow, you're really funny for a woman. I know. But the next thing he said to me was, wow, you stab really good for a white person. Thank you. And you talk really good for someone who's bleeding to death. And we just riffed back and forth until he died in my arms. I don't mean to get misty-eyed on that one, guys. I never tell my son that I have a boyfriend. Like when I have a guy at the house, I always tell my son, oh, honey, this is your uncle. And then when I break up with a guy, I tell my son, oh, honey, your uncle died. I know, it's tough because once I had a really good month on OkCupid, which means, of course, my son had a terrible month. He lost 11 uncles in 1 month, and 2 aunts. And a grandpa. But that guy actually died, so. I wish I had 2, because you have 3, so at least they hang out together, right?
Sure.
Yes, of course. Are they all in one bedroom?
No, I have 2 boys in one bedroom, and then a girl gets her own.
The girl gets around. Oh, fucking sweet! That is a good deal for her. I wish I had two, so they would just siphon energy off of each other. Because up until recently, I have been my son's only playmate. He's always been like, Mom, you want to play with me? No. I'm sorry. I don't know if you've noticed, but we have nothing in common. I don't like Minecraft. You hate Pinterest. I don't want to fucking play with you. You're boring. I got you Legos. Build something. Build a dad. My son's like, I want a brother. I'm like, honey, I want to date a black guy too, but that's not how you make that happen. What the hell? My son's best friend is named Marvin Jr. So Marvin was at the house, and they played video games for 6 hours straight, and I watched 12 episodes of Veep. Uninterrupted. Greatest day of my life, right? And Marvin goes, I gotta go. And then I spent 10 minutes trying to talk an 11-year-old boy into moving in with me. I'm like, please don't leave me, Marvin. Does your mom give you timeouts? What a bitch. No timeouts here, and you'll be Marvin Sr. at this house, I promise you. He left, they all do. One time I was tucking my son into bed. He goes, Mom, you should have had another baby. I'm like, honey, I didn't even want to have you. Now sleep tight. And happy birthday. I almost had another baby. I did have a miscarriage, but I was 46 when it happened, so I was like, phew. It's not all tragedy, folks. But I was still traumatized, you know. I was like, God, why'd you make me pregnant at 46? And God was like, I thought you were 4 years younger. Oh my God. That was a weird time, though, because I was gonna terminate that pregnancy. And then while I was looking for a place to get an abortion, figuring out how to pay for it, I had the miscarriage. And I always felt like it was God going, hey, let me get this one for you. First one's on the house. Oh, thanks, fella. I appreciate that. Okay, all right. Well. I'm a little tight on the abortion joke. It's the new San Francisco. Used to love that shit. Used to love it. Are there lots of parents here tonight? Yeah, okay. All right. And how old are your kids?
19 and 16.
19 and 16. Okay, so that sounds good, right? They're almost gone? Yeah, that's, congratulations. Are you out celebrating?
Yeah.
Oh, are you with your kids right now? No. You don't have a kid with you, right?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I met them in kindergarten. We're like,
Oh, you guys are a bunch of friends from kindergarten?
no, from our kids were in kindergarten.
Oh, okay. So, I never see these relationships work out. Because usually moms are forced together, and the only thing you have in common is that you didn't terminate. But you guys still stayed friends. That's pretty cool. All right. Somebody over here keeps saying Jesus. And people need to stop praying during the show, honestly. It's not going to work. Jesus did not make it up the stairs. There's 2 flights to get to this club, and Jesus doesn't do stairs anymore. He only walks on water. Now, here's the thing. Kids are awful at every age, but for different reasons, right? Like when they're toddlers, they shout every single word they say, right? They're like teeny tiny elderly people. And one time, my son and I are on a plane. He's like 2-3 years old. He's got the window seat. The plane takes off. He starts shouting, "Clouds! Clouds, Mom, clouds!" Nonstop for minutes, right? It was pretty cloudy. And people on the plane started to look at me, you know? And then one guy says to his friend, so I could hear it right in front of me, he goes, "Oh my God, could that kid be any louder?" And I snapped. I go, yeah, he can. Would you like me to make that happen? Because all I would have to do is pull down my kid's window shade. If you think clouds is loud, wait till you hear no clouds. Dude, we are 4 minutes into a 6-hour flight. You want to dance? Okay. I don't give a shit. I'll tell him the pilot's a monster. I'll hide his teddy bear. This will be the longest flight of your goddamn life. You'll pray we're a Malaysian Airlines flight. First one, not the second one. Come on, that's too soon. Come on, guys. Come on, have some respect. Sometimes the only superpower you have when your kid is little is to bring that kid to a place where they hate kids, just to ruin everyone's good time. Like I used to love to bring my kid to this coffee shop near my house where people would just be working on, their piece of shit screenplays, right? But they treated it like a public library, and I would approach holding my son's hand, and I'd see people inside going, no! Like just trying to will us into the Chipotle next door. And I'd be like, oh no, we're coming in. And here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna ask me for a cookie, and I'm gonna say no. We're staying for 45 minutes. Haha, I hope you get pregnant. It's my worst gypsy curse. Put on anyone. I hate homework. I can't even tell you. My son, in kindergarten, they had 2 pages of homework every night, and they'd have to turn in the packet of 8 pages on Friday, and it was to teach the kids that life was a series of meaningless tasks, and they should have killed themselves in preschool. Okay. So 1 week, I just blew it off every night. I did not want to sit with him and help him. It's a pain in the ass. I just wanted to watch TV that week. And then Thursday night comes. I'm like, oh, God. I either have to do 8 pages with my son now, or I could put him to bed, drink a bottle of wine, put the pencil in my non-dominant hand, and write exactly like a 5-year-old. We fooled everybody. I think when you have a boy, if you're a parent of a boy, the most important thing you can do is teach that boy to respect women, right? That's my... Oh, what a limited response. What a mostly female response. And one guy who's going to get laid tonight for sure. Like, I've been teaching my son about consent since I can remember, but I would always use my iPhone, because that's the only thing he ever wanted. Like, he would say, Mom, can I have your iPhone? And I would say, yes, you have my consent. And what's that model? He's asking a woman, waits till she says yes before he proceeds. That's, what you basically want to teach him. And one time, I decided to, test him out a little bit. So he said, Mom, can I have the iPhone? And I said, no, you can't. And he acted like I didn't hear him. He said, Mom, can I have the iPhone? And I said, no. And then he grabbed it. And then I grabbed it back. And I said, no means no, you rapist, go to your room. Gotta be tough with boys. I think the first thing you have to decide, too, when you have a son is, are you going to circumcise, right? I did not want to circumcise. My feeling is... almost as much support as treating women with respect. There's a couple of pissed off guys. Do you have a son? Yes. Oh, is your ex-wife sitting 7 tables away? What happened? Your neighbor is spying on you, sir. Do you guys know each other, or you... No, okay. All right, I love it, because I was directly looking at him, and you are way the fuck over there. And I said, I'll take this one. Enough of these white men. I'll take this one. Ma'am, did you circumcise your son? No. Wait, did you move? Wait, you were...
We're lesbians.
Okay, that doesn't answer my question, but thank you for the intel. I appreciate that. I was trying to find out everyone's sexuality secretly from the stage, so It's pretty helpful when you let me know right out of the gate. Well, I would think lesbians would be the most interested in circumcising, just to be assholes. No, okay, just it's a nice retribution for years of maligning. But do you have sons?
2 boys.
Okay, all right. And are you two are together?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And you're both very vocal. There's not a shy one in the relationship. That's a unique combo. Well, that's good. And then, sir, did you circumcise? No. No, you didn't. Okay, yeah, I didn't want to either. And my feeling is that's my son's stuff, right? He could circumcise himself if he ever wanted to, right? No, sir, again, Jesus won't help you, especially not in a circumcision joke. Oh my God, you're wrong religion, pal. Now listen. You can circumcise yourself. Self-circumcision is a Boy Scout badge. It is. It's the last one before Eagle Scout. Why do you think there's hardly any Eagle Scouts? Yeah, they go through the whole Boy Scout program, and then they're told, wait, one last thing. You need to go into the woods and come back with your foreskin in a square knot. Next time you meet an Eagle Scout, show some goddamn respect. They were pointing to you. Are you an Eagle Scout or are you circumcised? Both, all right. Wow. This crowd is really opening up in ways I hadn't anticipated. Well, so the pediatrician said that I should circumcise. She goes, it's a hygiene issue. She goes, when you remove the foreskin, the penis is easier to clean. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know penises were difficult to clean. Now, every penis I've ever seen looks like it was polished for hours. Earlier that day. Like, some of these penises are so bright I can't look directly at them. I'll damage my retinas. And I have to get out my solar eclipse shoebox and just peer carefully at the penis. Plus, if anyone should be complaining about difficult to clean genitals, it's women, right? We have flaps and corners. I have a secret room. It's behind a sliding bookcase. There's a lot going on down here. But guess what? I clean it every day. It's often the best hour of my day. How lazy are you guys that you'd rather cut part of it off than clean it? Plus, I've never heard a guy complain that his penis was dirty. You know? Oh, I'd love to put it in you, but it's filthy tonight. It's covered in dust and spackle and sand dollars. I got a parking ticket on Friday. Are there non-parents here? Okay. Oh. Keep it that way, sir. Yeah, your personality is working for you. Well, here's the thing. I mean, when parenting, it is a gift. It is. I mean, it's hard to articulate how much you love your own child. And does the childless people, do you guys have pets? Yeah. What do you have? Okay. I feel like this crowd is about to attack each other during every joke. It's opposing opinions. So who's the dog owner? What's your name? Monica. Okay, so imagine how much you love your dog. You love your dog, right? And then multiply that love by 0.7. And divide that by 10. This one's like, I am a dog lover myself, but I do feel like people love their dogs a little bit too much right now. And it's becoming kind of a fetish, and it's actually a little dangerous. And so I would love to do an intervention with an audience member that loves her dog tonight. Monica, can I talk to you, Monica? Okay, thanks, Monica. And so, Monica, what kind of a dog do you have? She's a mutt. Do you have any guesses?
I brought her home from Panama.
From Panama? I was like, you could just go to a pound here in San Francisco. Guys, there's no need to go to Panama for a mutt. You're working the Peace Corps? Oh, wow. So you are a double good person. That's amazing. What were you doing in the Peace Corps? Economic development. And how did it work? How's Panama doing? Haven't checked in on them recently. And what's your dog's name, Monica? Oh, sorry? Mema. Hey, don't act like I'm the asshole for not knowing that name. Nana? Okay, what's it mean?
It's a term of endearment in Panama. Baby.
It's like baby in Panama. Nena. The baby. La nena. Okay. I threw in what I could, guys. I think you got it wrong. Okay. This has been an exhausting journey. I'm already tired. So, Monica. Pardon me? Yes, it is Thursday night. If you guys are unclear what day it is, this lady will shout it out during an album taping. So, please, don't look at your watch. Look at this lady. She knows what night it is. She knows. Yes, it's a recording. Right. Did you pass out and just come to again, or what part of the show are you on? That was like a half hour ago. Monica, did you go back to Panama? Are you? Okay. So Monica, I want you to imagine that your house catches on fire. Okay? It's an inferno. And everyone you love escapes, right? And you're thinking, wow, what a miracle. You're standing outside your burning house, and then you hear Nana barking from inside the house. Monica, would you run back in to save Nana's life? This is kind of exciting. Usually it's a very quick answer. Monica? It depends on what? Pardon me? Rate of survival. Okay, let me do a couple of quick calculations in this hypothetical story. You would die. Would you run back in?
Well, she's already 11.
Oh. Smart. That's the fucking answer, assholes. That's how you do it. That's how you do math when you do economic development in Panama. She's a mutt. She's 11. Bingo. That's what you do, guys. You never go back for the dog. This goes for all of you guys. All of your dogs are completely replaceable. I have proof. My dad, over the course of his lifetime, had 5 black labs named Pepsi. Yeah. One Pepsi would die, he'd go to the pound, get the next Pepsi. Take the collar off the dead Pepsi. I don't appreciate that moan. Collars cost a lot of money. And the information on the tags stays the same. I moan to you. How come these dogs can't escape these houses? They've got twice as many legs as us. They can smell asses from 1,000 yards away. They can't smell a fire. Fuck those dogs. Never go back for the dog. And never go back for the cat, because the cat set the fire in the first place. That's a fact. Cats have 9 lives. They would love nothing more than to waste one watching you burn to death. When you see a cat purring, they're remembering a previous owner succumbing to flames. That's what makes your cat happy. Yeah, my son is 12. He's had a tough year. He tore his ACL this spring. Yes, he was playing Fortnite. And he gets out of surgery. He's totally in complete pain, and he's looking at 6 weeks on crutches and 6 months of rehab every single day, right? And the surgeon says to me, he goes, "Wow, I bet you wish you could trade places with your kid right now, huh?" And I said, "No, I want to trade places with someone who doesn't have a kid. I'm not a registered nurse. What the hell are you giving me?" And he goes, I have bad news for you. Your son has something called loose knees." And I was like, "Well, he got them from me." That's why I got pregnant in the first place. These things don't stay together. They're constantly falling apart. And he didn't laugh. He said, "What I meant is the way your son's knees are constructed, the other ACL is going to tear, and you can't prevent it." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting news, because I've already paid a $2,000 deductible for this year." And what I think you're telling me is if my son's other ACL were to tear before December 31st, it would be free. And he said, "That's not what I'm telling you at all." And I said, too bad that's what I heard. And I immediately signed my son up for 2 basketball teams. I said, "You have till Thanksgiving to tear that other ACL, or I'll tear it myself on Christmas Day. That will be your present to me." See how he does? It's a weird time in a child's life. My son has a YouTube channel, and his videos are awful. He films boogers up close. He films poos going down the toilet. He will aim a flashlight in a camera and go on and off so it looks like a strobe light, so you seize when you look the video. And they're 20 to 25 minutes long. They're unwatchable. So he ends one of his videos, he goes like this, he goes, "Pshh," right? Like he mimes suicide. And I know that seems disturbing, but you've got to believe me, it's the best work he's ever done. I was like, finally, you, the director, have captured what I, the audience, was feeling at that exact second. I, too, wanted to end my life at that point in your film. So thank you, I feel heard. And well, it turns out I'm not the only one who watches my son's videos. So does the school. And they apparently tried to call me 5 times that day. They couldn't reach me because I had blocked the school's number the previous year. They were stalking me. So they called the police. So that night, 2 cops came to my house for a wellness check. And I didn't even know why. Like, I opened up the front door. I was like, "Oh my God, you heard? I just tried mushrooms for the first time." Oh, thank God. And they go, "We're here to see a video your son posted today," right? So they came in, and I pulled up the video. And in retrospect, I could have fast-forwarded to the very end. But I decided to make the cops watch all 26 minutes of poos and farts and strobe lights and a booger. And by the time we got to the end, one of the cops had his actual gun to his temple. I talked him out of it, and then I introduced my son to his newest uncle. There's a couple happy endings in that story, guys. If you care to. And my son, he struggles in school. He has ADHD. Those are actually his grades. He got 2 D's and a H. I decided not to put him on medication. I decided instead to lower my expectations dramatically. I remember when he was born, I remember thinking, wow, my son could be the president of the United States one day. And now I know he could be the president of the United States. Yes, it's very, very disheartening. I read out loud to him, that helps him. So last year, I decided to read The Diary of Anne Frank to my son. I wanted him to identify with the female protagonist and learn some history. And it turned out to be a little bit too much. Number one, he had no idea who Anne Frank was. He goes, oh, is this like the diary of a wimpy kid? Because he loves that series. And I was like, no, for a lot of reasons. Wimpy Kid is fiction, Anne Frank is nonfiction. Wimpy Kid has sequels. Yeah. Tragically, Anne Frank just wrote the one book, right? And so I'm reading her words out loud, and she is so smart. And I started comparing my son to her and getting angry at him. You know? Like Anne Frank was studying Latin in the attic during a war, and my almost same-age son had just asked me if rigatoni is a country. And I just got mad. I said, rigatoni's none of your goddamn business. So then we get to this part where Anne Frank gets her period, and my son goes, what's a period? And I go, well, when girls are Anne's age, they start to menstruate, and that means once a month, blood flows uncontrollably out of their vaginas for 4 to 15 days, depending on the girl. And we all know what it is. It's no big deal to us. But to watch someone hear that information for the first time. Guys, if you don't have kids, go to a park tomorrow. Treat yourself. Find some 10-year-olds and read a medical journal out loud. My kid couldn't even talk. He had a 2-pronged defensive reaction. One hand went right to the balls instantly. And then the other hand went up in front of his face to block more information about the female reproductive system. And then he calms down and I pick the book up again. He goes, oh man, I hope no more bad things happen to Anne Frank. And that's when I decided that I needed to change the ending of the book. I was like, if this is how he handles her period, that last chapter is going to be a doozy. So I made up a completely different ending. My son thinks that Anne Frank is alive. Yeah, he thinks she's married to Denzel Washington. And he thinks they live on the island nation of Rigatoni, which, as you know, is off the coast of Nebraska. My son's father is Mexican, and I was going to name my son Pablo, but then one of my white friends goes, wait a minute, he already has a Hispanic last name. Maybe his first name should be something more common, if you know what I mean. And I think I know what she meant because I named my son Mohammed. Look it up, guys. It's the most common name in the world. Mohammed Martinez, that's my son. He's already been accepted into 9 universities and escorted off of 12 airplanes. He's a darker than I am. I don't mean skin color. I mean he loves rape jokes. I'm kidding. I like him too. He is darker complected and he's totally obsessed with ethnicity. The other day he goes, Mom, am I white or am I Mexican? And I was like, I don't know how to answer that question, honey. Let's ask a cop. And we asked the 2 that visited my casa, and they described him as a Hispanic male aged 10 to 30. And they called for backup. One time I took my kid to Arizona, and I took him in the summertime. My son gets very, very dark in the summertime, and in August, that's his darkest month, he is full Aztec. And we went to Arizona. I had a gig out there, and I brought him with me, and we were playing in a sandbox. It was Big White Me, Little Brown Him, you know, making pyramids, pushing virgins off. And And a very old white lady was staring at us. She was also at the park, and she's getting like angry at the sight of us, right? She's glaring. And finally she just goes, "Are you his mom?" So I decided to anger her further, and I go, "No, I'm his nanny. We're taking care of them now." That old white lady was Arizona Governor Jan Brewer. Yeah. All downhill for her after that. I would like my son to be bilingual, though. Are there bilingual people in La? Yeah? Oh, right on you. What happened to the Eagle Scout?
Right here.
Oh, so there you go. You're getting your bartender badge tonight. Bringing drinks to the Girl Scouts. That's how you do it. So, ma'am, what do you speak?
Spanish.
You speak Spanish too? Did you grow up in a Spanish-speaking home?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Sister.
Was that you guys are brother and sister?
Yeah, him too.
Okay. So you have an optimism that I don't understand. You're just like a happy guy hanging out with his sister. I mean, that's nice. I just don't get it. And ma'am, are you related to these two at all?
I'm a nanny.
You're the nanny. Holy shit. Guys, don't be afraid to get a laugh on my CD, honestly. I fucking spread the wealth. I do. Look for your residual check in 200 years, nanny. So your parents both spoke Spanish, right?
See.
Okay, that. All right, I'm taking your check away, ma'am. I'm sorry. You didn't raise him properly. Thank you for proving you speak Spanish by using a highly inaccessible word to non-native Spanish speakers, which is, of course, the word sí. Yeah, I want my son to see Spanish too. And I make him go to classes, Spanish classes. And I also do this thing where I don't let my son speak any English on Sundays. It's a game I invented. It's called No Inglés Domingo. And how it works is every Sunday, I put my son in a different life-threatening situation. And I make him talk his way out of it in Spanish. Because I feel like you aren't fluent in a language until you can save your life in that language, right? And Spanish class, what he learns there, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Okay, you know, if you're being held hostage by the drug cartel in Mexico, and you ask, where's the library? You're dead. So a couple of domingos ago, we were on a walk, right? And we walked by a swimming pool, and my son doesn't like to swim, and his knee's all messed up. So I pushed him in the pool. Let's see what you got, Mohammed. He immediately defaults to English, starts yelling help on No Inglés Domingo. As you can imagine, I was pissed off. I said, yeah, I would love to help you. Dígame en español, rápido. So then my son goes underwater to think. It's so quiet under there if you ever need to get away. And then he kind of shimmies out of the water like a dolphin and he goes, ayudar! Now, ayudar is a Spanish word. It means to help. That's the infinitive. That's unacceptable. Guys, when you're drowning in English, do you yell to help? No, it doesn't make sense. So that's how you fucking drown in Spanish. I said, mijo, you conjugate that verb properly, or you're gonna die. And guess what? He did it. He goes, ayúdame, puta. Yeah. If you guys don't speak Spanish, puta is a term of endearment for a mujer. I hear it a lot. On the streets, the staff at the club. It's nonstop compliments. Well, you guys, I'm in menopause. You know, you guys groaned. I love menopause. Yeah, it's pretty great, right, ma'am? Yeah, it gets a bad rap. Are you praying to Jesus too? What happened to this town? This town used to be full of devil worshippers and atheists. I've got Christians on either side praying during setups to jokes. Pardon me? I probably shouldn't go down this road, but I will. What the fuck? I didn't hear what you said, sir. No, now I can't let it go. I won't sleep unless I know. I heard Halassi.
Hot and flashy.
Hot what?
Hot and flash.
Hot and flashy. Oh, dude. I just got incredibly depressed. Like I spent a full minute of a potential comedy album talking to a Mr. Ed from I don't know. Yeah, I am hot and flashy, sir. Now I want to pray to Jesus. This isn't... What's happening? Who are you people? Okay, I love menopause, and you do too, right? Okay, so we need to tell younger women, look forward to it. It's great. First of all, I haven't bled in years. I don't even mean from here. I mean, I cut my finger, nothing comes out. Okay, a little semen, but that's it, guys. Yeah, it goes right in your bloodstream. They don't tell you that in Catholic school. I love menopause. It's so much cheaper. I used to have 12 pairs of period panties. 12. Now I have 1 pair of panties, period. I love my menopause. I just bought my first white couch. Yeah, I've been afraid to sit on spring colors my entire life. Now I'm naked on it every day. My best friend is 35. She tried to sit on my couch. I go, you get off that. That's not for you. You go to the bleeders bench with the rest of them. Keep my young friends on a treated wood bench. Their fertility doesn't harm my furniture. I did have a health scare last year. I had an aneurysm. Yes. I had it on my pelvis, and the surgeon goes, that's a very rare place to have an aneurysm. And usually, we only see that kind of aneurysm in elderly men. And I said, that's the meanest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'd rather be called a cunt by a baby than told I have the insides of an old man. And while I was waiting for surgery, I couldn't do anything because it could burst and I would die, right? So I couldn't fly, I couldn't exercise, I masturbated, but I had to come around the right side. That's a huge inconvenience to me because I've been a left side lady from way back. You guys probably know from my webcam, leftsidelady.org. It's a nonprofit. When I'm very stressed, I know why I have an aneurysm. It's because of my mother. Yes, my mother is 81 years old, and a couple months ago, she moved in with me. Yeah, it's temporary because she's 81. She wears a DNR bracelet, a do not resuscitate bracelet. I put it on her. She can't get it off. I hear her trying at night, gnawing. Yeah, good luck. Dentures don't cut. She's not a cute little old lady, my mom. She's hard to live with. She's a Trump supporter. Yes, I don't even mean Donald. I mean Eric. Do you know what it's like to live with an Eric Trump supporter? It's hell. She's very negative. She's always saying, no, no, that's my windpipe. I'm kidding, guys. I love my mom as much as any female comedian loves her mom. I miss my dad. My dad died a couple years ago, and I still talk to my dad every single day. In fact, today I said, please come get mom. Radio silence from that guy. I know he's never been happier. He's no one's nagging him. He's surrounded by collarless black labs. They're watching MASH reruns. That's the old man life, man. My dad, before he died, he had very explicit instructions. He wanted to be cremated, and he wanted his ashes, he said, returned to Ireland, which is odd because he wasn't from Ireland. But his great-grandparents were, and he said it would be a nice way for the family to come full circle if you put my ashes on the stone ruin that my great-grandparents left when they fled the famine. So that was my son and I's assignment. And we flew to County Cork, very rural part of Ireland. And the stone ruin was in the middle of a pasture. And so my idea was that my son and I would climb over the fence, sprint 25 yards, fling my dad, and then run back, and then leave the country before the owner of the pasture realized what we were doing, right? So as soon as we climbed over the fence, cows emerged from the grass, and they started walking over to us, right? And they kind of looked curious, right? They looked like security cows. You know? And my son was scared, and I said, you know what, don't worry, honey. They're probably excited to see an American. And then I realized, oh, they're not all cows. Some of them are bulls. And they're also coming towards us pretty quickly. So my son and I went right back over the fence immediately. And the bulls and the cows came right up to the very edge. One of the bulls mounted a cow and started fucking her while looking me directly in the eyes. And that's where we left my dad's ashes. A different way of coming full circle. Oh my God. I've never had a crowd get angry at that joke. Well, let's see. I'll tell you this. I am single. Now, here's why I'm single. Of course, you might have your own theories. My son's father cheated on me, and I found out I intercepted emails from her that she was sending him, and one of the emails said, "You have a handsome penis." And I was like, oh my God, he's cheating on me with a blind woman. Because he had been an Eagle Scout. And I read a lot of her emails. She was younger than me. That really sucked. But even worse, she was a bad speller. I was like, how can you sleep with someone who thinks there's an A in tomorrow? I wrote her an email back written so she could understand it. Feck off, you stupid can't. And here's the thing, I noticed this, and I don't normally think men and women are super different, but this I noticed. I would tell my female friends he cheated. They all responded the same. They'd all be like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Very sympathetic like women are. Then I would tell my male friends my boyfriend cheated. And they also responded alike, but it was always something like, how'd you find out? Well, I hacked into his computer. How'd you figure out his password? It was his name. I gotta go. There's this one lyric in this Cardi B song, Bodak Yellow, that reminds me of my ex in a way. She has this lyric where it goes, my pussy glitter as gold. And I remember hearing that going, wow, I have never had that kind of genital self-confidence. The closest I ever got was after I had my kid. I had sex with my son's father, and he complained. He goes, "You're not as tight down there as you used to be." Yeah, and I said, "Well, it's not that I'm not as tight. It's that I'm finally the right size for a larger penis." All right, that's it for me, you guys. Thanks for coming down. You've been a great crowd. I fucking dare the Friday, Saturday crowds to beat this shit. I dare them.
Lori Kilmartin, everybody. Lori Kilmartin. She's hilarious. Amazing job, you guys. Oh, my